Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today it's July 3rd while I'm filming this, so today's a really busy day for us. We will hopefully have a jam-packed day at the produce stand, but I wanted to take y'all on a quick garden tour and partial chore video before we get going this morning. We're supposed to get, starting this evening, about 3 days of rain, and I imagine everything will pretty well take off again after that. But our tomatoes are still doing great. Weeds are starting to pop up. Not happy about that, but it's an ongoing battle. But just about every one of our tomato plants over here has several green tomatoes on it, and we're just waiting for them to start turning. My pepper plants, amidst the horseweed, have finally started growing a little bit, so we might get some bell peppers out of these yet. Again, I need to come and do some touch-ups with some weeds, but last night we were able to harvest our first pulling of our beans, and we'll be taking those to the produce stand today to sell. Zucchinis, kicking butt, taking names. The ones down at the bottom garden are pretty well getting weeded out, I have a feeling. I see a whole bunch of honeybees flying around the blooms. That's a great sign. Getting some resources. And y'all, wow, y'all, there's honeybees everywhere. And that kind of makes me wonder if they're not our new ladies. Excuse me. If you watch the video of us, or of Dirk, going down and getting the excuse me, y'all. If you watch the video of Dirk extracting the bees from the tree. Oh, right into a spider web, y'all. Good morning. We brought them home last night. So, yeah, we have 5 hives now over here. I'm just checking them out last night. Oh. Y'all, honeybees keep a certain flight path when they're out foraging, and I just walked right into the middle of one of the flight paths and just got took a honeybee to the back of the head. And that's one thing that took a little while to realize down here when we're sitting, is that, you know, honeybees will bump you if they're feeling threatened, if, you know, if they're wanting you to just get away, keep your distance. But if you're in their flight path, you might take a bumping for them completely by mistake. No aggression involved, you're just in their way. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this grass off of their entrance. And since we pretty well had to take all of their resources away, I mean, if you watch the video, you'll see that Dirk rubber banded some of their comb onto the frames before he put it in there. But y'all, they've got a lot of work to do to get prepared for winter. So either this morning or when we're done with the produce stand this evening, he's gonna have to take the entrance reducer out and maneuver, play around with it a little bit, and then he will be adding the feeder, the mason jar feeder for these girls. We won't obviously be trying to harvest any kind of honey from them this year, and the main priority right now is just making sure that they're going to have enough resources to get them through winter. So we'll be feeding them pretty hard, especially considering what time of year it is. But as they were in that fallen over tree right next to the chicken coop, super close to their house, they wouldn't have been able to survive in that tree because they're going to end up having to get that tree cleared out of there. But that's why we came and, well, Papa Bear came and extracted, and we brought them home. There were still several honeybees on that log yesterday. But there's so much more in the box, so we're about 99% sure that the queen is there in that box in the hive. But he's planning on I think he's planning on trying to get that log home with the rest of the bees so that we can save them as well. But I haven't had y'all along with me on a partial chore video in a while. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you what the animals have been up to. We don't have pigs right now, and I think by the end of the weekend, we will have a sheep on the property. Dirk bought us a sheep. All right, y'all. Oats and Blondie here have both been broody. Oats has been broody for, I want to say, almost 2 months. It's driving me crazy. And then Blondie as well. And Blondie, she hasn't been broody that long, but she will scream at you. Ugh. What do you think, Blondie? You about done being broody? And y'all, we're in no position right now to hatch out our own eggs. We don't have a good spot for chicks to be raised up, and we wouldn't be able to keep them in here with everybody else. And little Rudy. There he is. You know, he's a tiny little rooster. I'm not convinced that he's fertilizing every one of these eggs. What do you think, ladies? Hi, Toopy. You want a little spoiled? And Toopy here, she was broody for almost 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, and she finally broke. I know I need to grab the other two, and I've actually been reading recently. I've done a few different things to break broodiness in the past. That's why that cage is in here. I've only had to use it once, but last year, y'all, I think it might have actually been for Blondie. I was getting broken eggs every day from them moving around nesting boxes trying to get in the ones with the most eggs. So I put her in the cage for 2 days, and obviously she had food and water. And Blondie actually, when she's not broody, she roosts outside. She's the only one that does it. But it broke her. I've also read that giving them a cool water bath will also help. Not freezing cold, but just a cool water, kind of room temperature. I've not tried that though yet. Papa Bear installed me this splitter, which is amazing, because we have hoses going to the big garden, to the grocery store, and to the mums. Y'all, this morning on Facebook, I had a memory pop up of where none of this was here. Well, I think we had the wedding bed with the tomatoes growing, but nothing else was in here. It was pretty wild. But I saw yesterday we've got a ton of blooms, but our habaneros are finally starting to come on. And we love adding the habaneros to tomato juice when we're putting up tomato juice. It gives it just enough little heat. Oh, we got some there too. And we've still, oh goodness, none of these babies have turned yet. But there are dozens on here. Still no bell peppers. But we bought a box of bell peppers for the produce stand and didn't end up selling them all. So we ended up putting up, oh goodness, 32 quart bags of bell peppers. Love them. Love having bell peppers put up for the winter. Finally starting to get some cherry tomatoes. I've eaten a few of them off the vine already. Need to come over here and probably do some more banana pepper picking. I'm telling you, y'all, if y'all want a plant that produces, get you some banana peppers. And then these tomatoes are looking good. They're getting bigger. We're just at that time of year where we're just waiting for them to start turning. This is Mama Chip, y'all. She became one of my favorites last year at VBS, so we decided to keep her as one of our breeding rabbits. And she's such a good mama, y'all. And her first litter of babies, so sweet, so sociable. Look at these silly bunnies. If you can't tell, this is a mini Chip. This is one of Chip's babies. Well, they both are. But look at that. A spitting image off the old block, right? And then, what are you doing up there, Precious? Silly bunny. You going in from the top? But they're great, great bunnies. Hey, sweeties. Hi. One of the gray ones went to a loving new home this week, or last week. I get my days all mixed up. You know how it is, y'all. But I think I might be keeping Mini Chip. I haven't tried sexing to see if it's a little boy or girl, but well, I finally got this mum pad whipped when it comes to weeding. Obviously the outer edges are still out of control, but over the course of 2-3 days I probably spent about 10 hours down here. And again, the weeds didn't do anything to hurt the growth or the progress, but it was an eyesore and it was driving me crazy. It feels good to have it done, and now keeping up with it for the summer will be pretty easy. But our big garden down here, y'all, oh, it's not doing too good. We have been so busy between doing events and the produce stand that we have not had any time at all to get down here to weed. And we didn't have anything planted between, probably, let's see, my zucchini are finally starting to come into it down here. I'm hoping they can just outgrow the weeds a little longer until we can get down here. But from here to the tractor, we don't have anything planted. But my cucumbers, they're gone. Luckily, my cucumber trellis up at the grocery store is kicking butt and taking names, y'all. And then over here, I don't even know what got this huge patch of craziness going compared to everything else. But we do have some volunteers. Volunteer, I don't know, it's probably gourd. We've got a pretty big volunteer gourd plant at the end of the mum pad. And I see some of the leaves down here as well for another one. But we still don't have anything planted in that big garden or the top. But we were talking about it, and I believe the top field, the top garden that we attempted sunflowers last year, we have a couple peach trees planted and a cherry tree. Hi, sweet bees. Wow, y'all. Look at them going crazy over it, over the pollen. We're getting into that time of year where the bees don't have a lot. Well, now, are y'all trying to rob each other? That's not nice. Y'all, play nice. Here we go. Oh, I've lost my train of thought now. Got distracted by bees. Oh, some more. I don't know if they'd be bees from the new hive or not, because when you relocate a hive, they have to essentially reroute a completely new flight plan to go exploring and everything. So I don't know, with us just having brought that hive last night, I don't know if these would be bees from that hive or from one of the other hives. But we've got morning glory, y'all. I think they're beautiful. Dirk despises them, and I know they're very invasive, and they're probably going to take over all my tomato plants over here if we don't get them under control. But they are pretty. The tater ring, it's doing really well. That was one of the original shoots that I saw, but we've got growth coming there. Where else? We've got growth here. Some good growth there. And I've not wandered over there. So it's coming along. It's definitely already better than it was last year. So that's a huge win. Let me show y'all my cucumber trellis up here while I'm thinking about it. I didn't show y'all while I was up here, because it has started to, they've started to go over the top a little more than they had before. Isn't it pretty, y'all? I think these really are going to go all the way over. I love it. I eventually want to have this whole walkway trellised. Be pretty cool. Y'all look. I don't know how well y'all can see there. Right there, it's a little bitty assassin bug. Y'all, these things are so cool. I don't think it needs to be right on my water dish. If you ever see one of these in your garden, don't freak out. It's not trying to eat your plants. They will actually eat other insects that you don't want in your garden. But you want to be really careful, because these things are supposed to pack a punch of a bite. Like worse than bee stings. Come on. Oh, wrong way. Come on. All right, you're gonna be difficult, aren't you? Come on. There you go. Now, would you cooperate with me? I'm trying to help you. You don't want to get drowned in my water bucket. There you go. Ignore my absolutely ruined cabbage. Maybe if I'd had one of these little fellas over here earlier in the year, it would have taken care of some of my pests. But yeah, if you see one of these, I want to say that there's multiple varieties of the assassin bug, wheel bug, but they're good to have around in the garden after pests and everything. You just don't want them biting you. Well, hello. Hi, babies. These are thumpers. Thumpers, babes. What? Don't you stomp. They are not the friendliest. I've tried to socialize with them, and they're just not very social. So we'll keep at it. I actually just took Thumper out of there last night. We were having some cage issues that Papa Bear had to fix. But hopefully now that Thumper's out of there, they'll start coming up to me more and I can start getting them socialized. Good morning, Butter Biscuit. What are you doing, sweetheart? What are you doing, darling? Say hi. Such a good bunny. Well, y'all, I've still got more rabbits to take care of, but I also have to start loading up the car soon. And doing anything takes about twice as long when you're trying to film it. So I'm gonna leave this one here, and the next time I'll get y'all caught up on the rest of the bunnies. But thank you for tagging along, as always. I hope everyone has a very good, very safe 4th of July. And I'll catch you next time. Like we like to say here on Momma Bear's Homestead and More, keep on keeping on, because we love every one of you, and Jesus does too.